Today is October the 25th, 2023. Welcome back to MBOX Frustrated User Guide. So what we have here is my stock MXQ. I am using an Air Mouse remote. This is about a $10 remote with an Air Mouse. If you want to fly, you got to use the fly mouse, and so this is what we've got. Talked about it in the past. Now watch, I'm going to press the on button. Doesn't really matter whether it's the original remote or this one. I'm going to press the on button. Watch what happens to the TV. Remote turns the TV on just as shown in the episode titled MBOX TV and Remote Control Secrets. Okay, now I know what some of you are saying. That's not my MXQ. MXQ doesn't look like this. Well, that's because I abandoned the stock launcher quite some time ago, as shown in MXQ Upgrade Secrets episode 3. And this is the Android 4.4.2 phone launcher. Now here's how you get to that. So I'm going to go to Settings, Home, and this is your phone launcher. The one that most people are using is still this one. I'm going to press the Home button now on my remote. I'm pressing Home. And that returns you to the familiar Media Box launcher, which this just doesn't do very much for me. So I'm going to go back to the phone launcher. And here's how you would do it if you're still using this. This is in episode 3. You go to Settings, Other, More Settings, Home, Launcher. Press the Home button on your remote, and we're back on this desktop. So the first app that I have across the top of my desktop is ClockSync. And what's different, what I haven't shown before, is that we have a desktop clock here, because it's very important that the time be accurate. If your time is not accurate, then you can't stream anything. So let's check the atomic time. I know that this is the correct time, Wednesday, October 25th, but you would just click here. Atomic time says 8:09:24 a.m. We're at 8:09:27. We're off by 0.02 of a second. Pretty good. Good enough. More than good enough. All right, back home. Now, how did I get this desktop clock? Okay. So you would have to go to, we haven't talked about this before, so you would go to Apps, you'd go to Widgets, and you have two clocks that you can choose from, analog clock or digital clock. I chose a digital clock. Once you choose it, it floats and you can put it on whatever desktop you want. So I'm going to go back home, and I thought on this wallpaper it looked best right here, but you can drag it around and position it pretty much anywhere that you want. So that looks pretty good. All right, the next thing I have, Gallery. If you have lots of pictures that you want to show on your MBOX, then this is where you can contain them, run a slideshow, do whatever you want. Now, if you watch my TV repair videos, you know that I use these solid color wallpapers as test patterns. So there's my TV test patterns. I use this feature. You can do whatever you wish with it. So that works pretty good. Now we have two IPTV programs. This is a highly controversial, banned subject matter. I can't say too much about this. YouTube took down the video that I did on it. To learn how to use these programs, you'll have to watch on Daily Motion. Now at that time we talked about IPTV Pro. I have a second one here in case one stops working, you'll have another one. So we haven't looked at IPTV. This is GSE IPTV before. It's kind of what it looks like. Again, if you want to learn how to use these programs, you'll have to watch on Dailymotion. Can't say anything about them here on YouTube. All right, back home again. Here's what we've looked at before. IPTV Pro. This is the Tubi list. This is how you get Tubi back on your MXQ. So, okay. Now, you notice how fast this box is responding? There was a time when this box could not get out of its own way. When it was so slow, I even said it couldn't walk and chew gum at the same time. But it's pretty responsive now. Now, the next two apps that are most used are these two. For whatever reason, in 2023, maybe it was 2022, the powers that be stopped the stock YouTube app from working on Android 4.4.2. And just recently, the powers that be have stopped the stock YouTube app from working on Android 5.1. But there are other YouTube apps that work better than the stock YouTube app ever did, and these are two of them. This is SkyTube Extra, this is SmartTube. They both work great. Now watch the speed again. Pretty fast. SkyTube works great with playlists. It will, if you're watching a playlist, say on my channel, and you want to watch all the MXQ Upgrade Secrets episodes, you can choose it and it'll play one episode after the other after the other. And the same for anybody else's channel. So it works quite well with playlists. Okay. I can't run anything because I'm just going to get copyright infringements and censorship. This is SmartTube. One thing about SmartTube, it kind of remembers what you have been watching. So here's one of my favorite channels, Too Vintage. This channel is about fixing small engines and this kind of equipment. Terrific, terrific channel. One of my favorites. So this is SmartTube. If you sign in, it'll pick up your YouTube account and it'll all of your favorites, all of your subscriptions. The one thing I don't like about this version of SmartTube, it doesn't handle playlists as well as the other, but they both work great and they're both very, very fast. So, okay. So those are my favorite apps across the top. They all work great. Are you watching how fast this box is responding? Now, there was a time when I could have never done what I just showed you, where these things would have to be closed. It couldn't do two things. I would say it can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Now you can do lots of things at the same time because the box has, and I'm going to show you how I did this in a minute, the box is just as fast as any other box I own. So in the past, you would click on this, click and hold, and then you'd have to go down to remove from list. Another way to get rid of these, to free up some memory, because remember this only has half a gig, is you could click and drag to the top. I'm using my air mouse. Click and drag to the top. Click and drag to the top. Click and drag to the top. This is freeing up memory. In the past, this was absolutely critical. It's not as critical now. At some point it does bog down, but not like before. So what's the difference Well, here is a real shocker. I have disabled all of these apps. I'm going to leave this here for a bit. None of these apps are needed to do what I am doing, to run the apps that I've shown you and that I'm going to show you. This simply just doesn't work anymore, so disable it. I don't need any of these things. So that's my first list. Let's scroll down. Don't need camera, don't need that, don't need any of these things. I'm not making phone calls from my box, don't need that. Not getting email on my box, don't need that. And look at the real big surprises. I can't tell you what the difference disabling these apps made. That's right, in the past we talked about using this to upgrade your box, and it was very important, but you don't need it anymore. In fact, this is crippling your box now, in my opinion. That's what I've discovered. So I've disabled all of these things. You don't need them. I don't need them anyways. Don't need any of this. This doesn't work anymore. Not my choice. It's the choice of the powers that be. Disabled. And because of that, I freed up tons of storage. I uninstalled any updates that were associated with any of the apps on this list. And it allows the box to run at tremendous speed. So let's see if I can find my channel. All right, here's SmartTube. Click on the search box. Oh, look, this is a Russian frustrated user guide. But look, they got me anyways. Isn't that amazing? I guess they like me in Russia, Russia, Russia. So this is my channel. See, it works. Here's Upgrade Secrets Part 1, Part 2. They're all there. Here's MBOX and TV remote control secrets, how I turned on the MBOX turned on the TV using my MBOX remote. Don't know who this guy is, but okay. So see, it works. See how fast it can play this video. Not bad. Okay, now there's one other app that's worth mentioning. It's this one. In order to use MBOX HD, you also have to install MVCast Player. So we'll click on MBOX. You get lots of movies. Not all of them will have thumbnails. So it looks like this is just not going to work on Android 4.4.2. You have old movies, new movies. And if you try to click on anything at all, I haven't actually watched any of these, so I just don't know. Can I find a real old one? I don't know what that is. And if you try to play it, you have to go to videos and you click on the play button. You can choose your resolution. I'll choose 720, can easily do that. This box does 1080 just fine. This actually works on newer boxes. On this box, we're going to get a message, can't play this video. Okay, can't play it. All right. But you click on this little chain icon right here. Open with. Even if you try VLC, it's not going to work. I haven't tried casting. However, what about this one? Download video. You can click on that. Use the default download manager. This also works great, but we don't have it installed. We're going to use the default Android, official Android default download manager. And look, it's downloading. Now, as long as you leave this open and just walk away, then after a period of time, that movie will be completely downloaded and you'll be able to watch it. Now, bear in mind, this box has almost no storage space, and a single movie can completely fill up your storage. So you can only download really one movie at a time. And also, according to the VCR rules that were established in the 1970s, you're entitled to download stuff for your own private use, provided that you don't make copies, that you don't archive it, you don't give away copies to your friends, you don't keep it very long. The rule says, as I understood it back in the 70s, and believe me, we sold thousands of VCRs, millions of them nationwide. So you download this morning, go to work, go to school, come back, and you can watch this movie tonight. Now, where does it go? And as soon as you watch it, you delete it. Now, where does it go? All right, we're going to go home. We'll click on apps. We'll go to downloads. This is the official Android 4.4.2 download manager. And there it is. So it's only been a few minutes and we're already at 7%. It's a 1.2 gig file. So we can go to work, we can go to school, come back tonight, and for better or worse, that movie will be there to be viewed. You'll be able to play it. It'll play just fine. Then as soon as you watch it, you delete it. And you can do something else tomorrow. So it works surprisingly well, even though it looks like it's not going to work. All right, what else do we have here? FX Media Player. And the reason I have FX on this box, well, we already know about Miracast. That's so you can cast any app from your phone to the box. Works great. You showed that in prior episodes. But what about FX? I haven't really talked about this very much. If you have a media server, so I have a media server on my network. You can click that. That's a laptop. This is my Netgear router. I'm going to click on my own stuff. Final Cuts. Okay, so many of these have been banned on YouTube. I have to find something that's safe. So let's try clock problems. And must be this one right here. See if it goes. That's from 2019. Plays fine, audio is fine, video is fine. Whatever media you own, you can keep on that server, and you play it using FX. Now, I had a couple of comments from people who said they couldn't use this box as a media server. It works absolutely fine. And if I turn the volume up, always starts up at 7 o'clock on Thursday, January 1st, 1970. So see, the sound works fine. Everything works fine. So, okay. That's FX Media Player. Extremely useful. Works great. Okay, so that's it for 2023. Here's my fast MXQ. I really get a kick out of using it. I hope you do too. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Now I'm going to turn off using the TV remote. This is my Samsung TV remote. Watch what happens. Can't do this with brand new TV boxes that I own. This part just doesn't work. But it works great here. So TV is going to go off. Watch the box. Find SkyTube Extra at github.com. Find SmartTube Next at their own website, smarttubenext.com. Now here's a list of all the other apps that were mentioned in this episode with version numbers. So remember, you would download these using a computer, put them on a FAT32 flash drive, stick that flash drive into your MXQ, and then use File Browser to install the apps. So these are the version numbers that work as of, actually today is November 18, 2023.